Today, your life changes completely. I heard an incredible talk recently, and I'm making this video to give back what I received. Focus entirely on the process, no matter the experience, regardless of the outcome. But, we live in a capitalist world, and money matters, right? What did I just say about experiences? You've got to fully embrace the experience of making money too. I'm not saying to avoid money-making experiences. I'm saying fully embrace the ones that don't make money either. But don't fall into nihilism over this. That's a trap. Work hard to make money. Just don't obsess over how much you're earning. Focus on the process. After this, go do your delivery job, okay? But don't keep counting how much you're making. The bike you're riding, the act of picking up food, delivering it to the customer, every single action, immerse yourself in it fully. Before you go to bed, you should be able to say, I didn't miss a single moment today. I experienced it all perfectly. That's when you're doing it right. Let me tell you something mind-blowing. When someone is fully immersed in the process, when they're truly devoted to the work itself, who do you think comes out on top? Compare that to someone who's always thinking, how much is this order worth? Damn, I need to hit 50 bucks. Only 50 bucks? Is this my hourly rate? When will I ever save enough? Who's more likely to succeed? That's the problem with kids these days. Nobody works hard at companies anymore. If you work hard, they call you a fool. Everyone's drowning in cynicism. Why bother? Work your butt off and you still won't get rich. Don't aim for a promotion. It's just exhausting. Even if you become a director, you won't have financial freedom. But imagine a friend who says, I'm gonna give it my all. Others might scoff, what's the point? You think that'll make you rich? Maybe it won't. You're probably right. But why are you just sitting there doing nothing? You don't want to waste your life, do you? Sure, it's about getting promoted, right? So who's more likely to get that promotion? Obviously the one who gives their all, but don't get it twisted. Is this all about success? Number. Like I said, even if you work your heart out, you only control about 5% of the variables. The other 95% can screw you over. You might not get promoted. That slacker who didn't try might get lucky, cozy up to the right boss, play the politics game, and climb the ladder. But what did I say? Don't worry about that. That's what I call the plus alpha. You get promoted, your salary goes up. Think of it like this. Thank you. That's awesome. Making more money is great. I love money. I'm thrilled when I make a lot of it. But here's the mindset. The plus alpha. Sure, I made a ton of money, but that doesn't define my worth. My worth was already set by fully embracing the process. The world just gave me a bonus gift. Thank you. Now flip it. You worked your heart out, fully immersed. But because of those countless variables, you didn't get promoted, didn't make the money. That's a minus alpha. Think of it like this. Yeah, I didn't make the money. That sucks. It's frustrating. But your life's worth, that hasn't changed one bit. You've already lived well. You separate the two. You've already lived well, and the results came through. Thank you. You've already lived well, and the results didn't come. So what? This is huge, people. You might not notice these kinds of people around you, but once you open your eyes and see through this lens, you'll spot them. They're rare. They're truly great. They're paradoxical, almost superhuman. Don't misunderstand this as purposelessness. I'm not saying to live aimlessly, just going through the motions. Listen closely. Does this sound like that? you'll end up living harder than anyone else. I used the word fully immersed, but let's use the world's term. You'll work your ass off. Others might tear you down. Look at you, hustling like crazy for money. But you'll say, I don't care. If you don't make money, oh well, that's a shame. But it doesn't change the fact that you've lived well. Quiet confidence, right? If you make a ton of money, nice. You must be thrilled after grinding for 10 years. You'll say, I was already fulfilled those 10 years. Oh, and I got an apartment. Cool, but that's not who I am. This is critical. Job seekers, listen up. Live the experience of job hunting 100% without wasting a single moment. Will that increase your chances of getting hired? Probably, but you might not get the job. Listen carefully. Say you get into Google, everyone's jealous, right? You'll say, my worth isn't decided by Google. That's a badass line. Your worth was already set by those 3 years of job hunting. Google's just a bonus. On the flip side, you worked your heart out for 3 years and didn't get into Google. That can happen. It's not your fault. There are countless variables you can't control. People might say, you failed. Those 3 years were a waste. That's what purpose-driven people think. If the result doesn't come, the whole journey feels empty. But you'll say, don't define me by that. Those 3 years, I lived them well. I succeeded. Sure, I'm bummed about not getting into Google, and I'm at a smaller company now. But Google doesn't make you more valuable, and this company doesn't make me less. It's weird, right? This person is a walking paradox. They give their all to everything, enjoying a beer, traveling, job hunting, working harder than anyone. But they're detached from the outcome. Isn't that the ideal human? If it's confusing, look at me. I'm bragging here, but why do I pour my soul into these talks? I don't care about the outcome. I do it to live this moment fully. Picture this. Someone in the audience is the CEO of Google's dad. After the talk, he says, I loved your speech. I'd like to invest 1.2 billion in you. That could happen. But here's the twist. I'd say, thank you. That's amazing. You must feel great, right? Those 20 years of giving talks. Don't try to define me with that 1.2 billion. I'm grateful, but I've already lived well. On the other hand, if you mock me as you leave, it doesn't faze me. I've been criticized for 20 years. It doesn't shake me because I realize this truth. I've already given my all in my talks. I've felt my own perfection. If the results don't come, that's a minus alpha. Don't define me by it. I've already lived well. Whether I'm speaking to 1,000 people, a handful, or just myself, it doesn't matter. I've already lived fully. I don't know what the results will be. Don't you feel it? People like this probably have a higher chance of success. But don't expect it. If you keep chasing that, you'll fall back into blaming yourself when those uncontrollable variables mess you up. I'll live like this until I die. If it pays off, great. If not, so what? I've already lived well. Every time I step up to give a talk, I say to myself, I've already succeeded. Why? Because the preparation was enough. I've already won before the talk even ends. I don't care how you react. Curse me out in the comments. Call my talk nonsense. It doesn't matter. I've already lived well. I'll read the comments though. I'm not ignoring the results. If they're all positive, I'll smile. That's a plus alpha. If they're full of hate, I'll feel annoyed. But it doesn't change the fact that I lived this day, this talk, to the fullest. That's why I laugh even when the hate pours in. I laugh when I make a ton of money too, not because of the money. The money's just a little extra boost. Purpose-driven people, they're always defined by success. It's pathetic. You get into Google and act like you're as big as Samsung? Don't be cocky. Don't be intimidated either. It's laughable. I saw a meme kids use these days. People walk into a luxury store and think they're the luxury just because they're wearing it. Same thing. Don't let results define you. The process defines you. This is what I call living fully. When you see the world through this lens, so many problems disappear. Purpose-driven living turns your life into a means to an end. But living fully? The process itself is the value. We've been treating ourselves like machines, our time and bodies as tools for some output. Stop living like that. They say I have high self-esteem. Want to know why? Because I see myself as inherently valuable. You've heard this before, right? It sounds nice. You're enough. But how can you believe that when you think you're not good-looking or successful? It's a shift in perspective. You think there's an ideal you have to chase, so of course you feel inadequate. I think the ideal is already here. I'm not saying I'm handsome. I wasn't born that way. So what? I live the experience of being me. If I'm a job seeker, I live the job seeker's life. If my family's dirt poor, I live that life. That's a life a billionaire can never experience. That's the difference. Self-esteem comes from this logic. Love your imperfect self? I hate that phrase. It assumes you're flawed. Flawed compared to what? Some perfect ideal? That's just another purpose. Health? Sure, take care of it to live long and avoid pain, but don't obsess over building the perfect body. That's nonsense. Look at Greek statues, the pinnacle of human beauty back then. By today's standards, they're chubby. Venus. Chubby. Purposes keep changing. You bulk up your shoulders and the trend shifts. It used to be about lean muscle, now it's massive bulk. It'll change again. I'm breaking down this pretty talk with logic. Purpose-driven living traps you in cynicism and comparison. Capitalism's biggest flaw? Comparison. Why? Because there's a number one to chase. You're second, I'm 30th. Ugh, I'm miserable. Come over here, 30th, I'm 29th. All hate stems from the idea of a number one. But living fully, it's always positive. A beer, let's savor it. Rush hour chaos, let's dive into it. Job hunting, let's do it with everything we've got. Dirt poor and delivering food, let's do it fully. It's always positive because you see value in every moment. That's true diversity. Samsung's CEO has his life. I'd meet him and not flinch. Someone picking up scrap metal? I don't pity them or look down on them. They have their life. All I see is whether someone's living fully or not. That's what matters. A scrap collector giving their all? That inspires me. Those are the people who move me. If you're still listening, I'm genuinely thrilled. Everyone's so cynical these days, barely engaging. They listen for 5 minutes, roll their eyes and say, "What's this talk? I'm out." I think this talk was rough and flawed content-wise. Of course I gave it my all, but you're locked in. I respect people like you. I don't care what job you have or how old you are. I just hope my voice reached you. That's all I want. Thank you.